When you think of slave owners in the 1700s and 1800s, what image comes to your mind? Typically, we envision white plantation owners living in the American South, profiting from the labor of the enslaved. This image, while not inaccurate, is incomplete. It's a simplification of a complex and multifaceted reality. It's a narrative that has been etched in our minds through countless history books and school lessons, but it's only a piece of the larger picture. History is a vast tapestry, intricately woven with countless threads. Some of these threads, though, have been neglected, their stories buried under the weight of convention. One such thread, one that often surprises many, is the existence of African American slave owners. Yes, you heard it right. There were individuals of African descent who, despite their own lineage, owned and profited from the labor of their fellow men and women. This notion might seem paradoxical, challenging even. It's a concept that blurs the lines, disrupts the clear-cut dichotomy we've been taught to believe. But history is seldom black and white. It's a myriad of greys, a complex interplay of circumstances, choices, and events. And so we delve into this uncharted territory, the unspoken reality of African American slave owners. We'll explore the lives of Antoine Dubuclet, Anthony Johnson, and William Ellison Jr., three individuals who amassed considerable wealth through the ownership of slaves. They were not mere footnotes in the annals of history, but were influential figures in their own right. Their stories do not seek to diminish the horrors of slavery or absolve anyone of their actions. Rather, they offer a broader perspective, a chance to examine the intricacies of human nature and the complexities of a time we can only try to comprehend. Prepare to unravel the stories of three wealthy African American slave owners whose lives challenge our common understanding of slavery. These narratives will take us on a journey, one that may be uncomfortable at times but necessary as we strive to understand the full breadth of our shared history. Our journey begins with Anthony Johnson, a man who lived in the 1600s. Johnson's story is a fascinating one, filled with trials, tribulations, and a testament to the human spirit. He arrived in Virginia as an indentured servant, but through grit and determination he transformed his fate and became a prosperous landowner. His journey, however, takes a controversial turn when we delve into the fact that Johnson himself owned slaves. This reality paints a complex portrait of a man navigating the socio-economic dynamics of his era. Johnson's case set a legal precedent for lifelong servitude. This was a significant turning point, marking the beginning of racialized slavery. It's a chilling reminder of how societal norms can be manipulated to justify inhumane practices. Anthony Johnson, a paradox of his time, was just the beginning of what would become an intricate web of history. Fast forward to the 1800s, we meet Antoine Dubuclet, a wealthy plantation owner in Louisiana. Born to free parents of color, Dubuclet inherited a prosperous sugar plantation from his father. This inheritance included over 100 slaves, making him one of the largest black slaveholders of his time. Dubuclet's life was a testament to the complexities of the era. He was a man of African descent who owned slaves, a paradox that challenges our understanding of history. His wealth was largely amassed from the toil and sweat of his enslaved workforce, who cultivated the lucrative sugarcane on his plantation. Yet it was this wealth that placed him among the highest echelons of Louisiana society. His influence extended beyond his plantation, as evidenced by his election as state treasurer during the Reconstruction period. This was a time when the societal structure was being reshaped, and Dubuclet navigated his way through the tumultuous waters of change. His election marked a significant milestone, not just for him, but for the entire black community of Louisiana. Despite his controversial status as a slave owner, Dubuclet was accepted and respected by the society he was a part of. Dubuclet's story, like many others, blurs the line between victim and oppressor. It serves as a stark reminder of the complexities and contradictions that existed within the institution of slavery and the broader societal structure of the time. Finally, we turn to William Ellison Jr., an entrepreneur who thrived in the South. Born into the shackles of slavery in South Carolina, Ellison's life was far from ordinary. He was fortunate to have a master who saw his potential and apprenticed him in the trade of cotton gin making. This skill, would later become the cornerstone of his financial success. Upon gaining his freedom at the age of 26, Ellison didn't just embrace his newfound liberty. He capitalized on it. His ingenuity and business acumen led him to establish a successful cotton gin manufacturing business. Ellison's gins were renowned for their superior quality, and he quickly rose to become one of the leading cotton gin manufacturers in the South. But Ellison's prosperity came at a heavy price. He was not just a successful businessman, but also a slave owner. In fact, by the mid-19th century, he owned more than 60 slaves. This was a significant number, even by the standards of the time, and placed him among the top echelons of slave owners in South Carolina. Ellison's wealth and status were not without controversy. His support for the Confederacy during the Civil War was a clear testament to his vested interest in maintaining the institution of slavery. This support was not just ideological. Ellison contributed materially to the Confederate cause, providing food and supplies to its army. Yet, despite his controversial stance, Ellison was not an outcast. He was a respected member of the community, his wealth and success overshadowing the moral implications of his slave ownership. He was in many ways a product of his time. A time when the color of one's skin did not necessarily dictate one's stance on slavery. Ellison, a man of contradictions, challenges the conventional narrative of African American history during the era of slavery. Our journey through history has revealed a complex and unsettling reality. We have traversed the lives of Antoine Dubuclet, Anthony Johnson, and William Ellison Jr., African American men who in the 17th and 18th centuries owned slaves and amassed significant wealth. These narratives underscore the need to confront and comprehend even the most uncomfortable aspects of our past. As we delve deeper into history, we uncover layers of complexity, challenging us to question our perceptions and understand the past in all its intricacies.